Jaya Radha Madhava Vijaya. Vijaya Jamna Kira Vanachari Jamna Tira Vanachari There Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Gopijanna Bala Girivana Gopijanna Bala Ya Salananda Yamutira Yamunatira Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Okay, so today is the very auspicious appearance day of Lord Nityananda, who is none other than Balaram. So we're gonna. I was looking through the Chaitanya Charitamrita and I took some notes of the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. He actually appeared quite some years before Lord Chaitanya, about 20 years before. But he didn't appear in Navadvip. Where did he appear? Eka Chakra. And from the beginning of his childhood, he with his friends, they were enacting all the pastimes of Krishna. And the devotees, the people, they were amazed that he knew all these pastimes. He was such a boy, killing Putana, Agasura, so many pastimes. Just enact all these amazing pastimes. And not only pastimes of Krishna, but Lord Ramachandra. And there was one pastime where he was unconscious, and the kids were getting anxious, and then the parents came, and the elders, they also became anxious, and then one remembered, no, we just got to get the medicine. Hanuman's got to go get the herb, and then he'll be okay. So Hanuman went and got the herb, gave it to him, and she let him so of course, Lord Nityananda, he knows all these pathways. His Krishna is Balaram. So, but at one point, there was one saintly person came to visit Hadai Pandit, and he was so respectful. And is there anything I can do for you? Yeah, I just need one brahmachari assistant. I think your boy would be good. And it was like he's asking for his life. His Lord, anything imagine that the Lord is your son. So he consulted with his wife and said, the sadhu is asking for our boy. And she said, whatever you decide. She was and they remembered about Dasara. The saintly person came to take Lord Ram and Lakshman to kill demons. So again, it's very difficult, but he did it. Vishwamitra Muni, right? Vishwamitra Muni. Yeah. And to take, not only to take them, but they were on a mission to kill demons, big demons. And how old was Ram? 16 years old, I think. And Ram said, I'll take my whole army. These are just boys. They're just boys. Can't kill demons. And then Vasisha Muni came and said, you don't want to upset Mr. You don't understand who they are. Don't worry, they'll kill the demons and they'll come back. He was convinced. He came back after killing the demons. So the Lord Nityananda and his friends were enacting all these amazing pastimes. And then this sannyasi came and took him. And they were going all over India. Lord Nityananda wanted to wait until Lord Chaitanya was acting his preaching pastimes. Because he was Lord Chaitanya, he was also playing a pretty interesting role. He was a scholar. He wasn't a devotee yet. He was a scholar. He would argue with the devotee. But then at one point after Ishvarapuri, he became a devotee. So-called he became a devotee. he gave up the pastimes of acting like a scholar and arguing with the devotees, and he became a devotee. So much so that when he went back to Navadvip, he was expressing to the devotees how he had received so much mercy from Krishna. Please come to my home and discuss about Krishna. And he was in ecstasy. And even he kind of got in the bhakti program. He was washed the clothes of the devotees, and he was a very, very humble servant of the Vaishnavas. So he really, I mean, he really took on the role. He even got in the bhakti program back then, doing service for all the devotees. So then Lord Nityananda, okay, it's time to go participate in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So he went to Navadvip, and Lord Chaitanya told the devotees, there's a great Vaishnava here. You gotta go find him. Who is he? Just go find him. So they were looking. Where was he staying? Nandinacharya. Whenever anybody had to hide, it was always Nandinacharya. Lord Chaitanya also went to Nandinacharya. Yeah, the special pastime devotee stayed at this place hiding. So when they met, it was this, imagine Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda meeting for the first time. Krishna and Balaram. So there was so much ecstasy. Can't imagine the ecstasy that they both felt. So I was just reading one purport. Prabhupada says, human life is spoiled when one does not realize his identity as a soul. The Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda appeared to save man from this misconception. So this is the big misconception about the world. Now and then, people are thinking there's a violence. So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they came to purify the people, to give them knowledge of the soul, to give them knowledge of Krishna, knowledge of the absolute truth. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahara Gaurya Pushparcha Chitta Sandalkamara. The Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they have simultaneously arisen on the horizon of Gauda days to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and bestow benediction upon all. Now, when there's a full moon, the sun is going down and the moon is going up without exception. When there's a full moon, the moon is coming up, the sun is going down. And when the sun is coming up, the moon is going down. It's a full moon. But here we have the sun and the moon simultaneously rising, dissipating darkness. You never see that. You'll never see the full moon. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of it. Even in the daytime, you'll see a little slither of the moon. But you never see the full moon and the sun up together. But the exception is Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. We need a lot of light in Kali Yuga. There's a lot of darkness. So they came to dissipate the darkness of ignorance. So Lord Nityananda, he had one servant named Minaketana Ramdas, who was a great devotee. He was such a great devotee. It's described that one of his arms sometimes would be stunned, and the other one would shake in ecstasy. And when people would see him, they'd be amazed because there'd be constant tears from his eyes in the ecstasy of service to Lord Nityananda. And sometimes he would call out the name Nityananda! And the way he would chant Nityananda, devotees would be like stunned. There's some real love there. So much affection, so much love for Lord Nityananda. And he was invited to kirtan at the house of Krishnadas Kaviraj. He would have kirtan every day, Krishnadas Kaviraj. And there was one Vijaya there that didn't respect Vinakirtan and Ramdas. Everybody that would see Vinakirtan just upon seeing his demeanor, to see his ecstasy, they would offer respect, but not this Pujari. And also the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj, he also was in the same motive of not understanding, you know, who Lord Nityananda was, who Vinakirtan and Ramdas was. So Krishnadas Kaviraj, he chastised his brother that you're accepting. See, he respected Lord Chaitanya, but he didn't understand the position of Lord Nityananda. So he chastised him. Krishnadas Kaviraj, accepting like half a hen. Mm. No, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they are one. They're Krishna and Balaram, Supreme Lord. Yeah, it's very offensive. So he chastised him. And that night, Lord Nityananda appeared to Krishnadas Kaviraj in the dream. And he was decorated with all his jewelry. And it's beautiful. We have a nice picture of him. Maybe it's there. Get a picture of it. Probably won't follow me. Don't like that. We've all seen the picture. It's beautiful. Huh? Of Lord Nityananda, where he's coming to Krishnadas Kaviraj in the dream. A beautiful, beautiful picture. So when he's telling him, go to Vrindavan, there you will find all things. And he had so many devotees there, and he was singing and dancing. Yeah, that's it. This is it. There's the beautiful. So there's Krishnadas Kaviraj. There's all the devotees, Nityananda. He's pointing. Go to Vrindavan. Go to Vrindavan. There you will find all things. So he was elderly. He was very old. But he went. Now, I don't know how far it was, but it was probably some distance away. So there he went to Vrindavan. He saw all these great Vaishnavas. In Vrindavan, he was so happy. And the devotees asked him to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's so elderly. He said, I do not know how it's happening, how I'm writing. My hand is shivering. I'm so old, I do not know if I'll be able to finish. So he also would do summaries, just in case. Mm-hmm. Narottam Das Thakur, he said, when will Lord Nityananda be merciful to me, so that I'll forget all my material desires? This is when we know that we've received the mercy of Lord Nityananda. We have no more material desires. Wouldn't that be nice, huh? No more material desires. Boy, that would be ecstatic. Because it's these material desires that are keeping us from doing what we want to do, which is engage in pure devotional service. So today is a very auspicious day. We can pray to Lord Nityananda to be free of these material desires and only have spiritual desires. Only desires that are pleasing to Krishna, pleasing to Lord Nityananda. And something that pleases Lord Nityananda very much is when we go out and preach. And it's interesting that at one point in past times, God, Lord Chaitanya, told God, Lord Nityananda, go door to door, preach. God's telling God to preach. It's needed. It's needed in Kali Yuga. So, who did he go with? Haridas Thakur, door to door. Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna, Shiksha. He would go and he would tell the people, chant the names of Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Koro Krishna. Worship Krishna, follow the instructions of Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, worship Krishna. Follow the instructions of Krishna. And some people would receive him so nicely. Imagine having God come to your door. Chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna, follow the instructions of Krishna. I'd be pretty ecstatic. And some people would say, no, don't bother this thing, go away. How unfortunate. God's come to your door now, don't bother to go get a job. Imagine that. How unfortunate. But then they came across, they went to the town, Navadvip, and there was a big crowd, and they saw, and one of them, he asked the people there, well, what's going on here? Oh, this is Jagai and Madai. They were born in nice Brahmin families, but because of bad association, they became degraded, and they're just like the terror of the town. It's terrible, terrible. So Lord Nityananda thought, if we could convert them into devotees, then Lord Chaitanya's name and fame would be spread all over the country. So they decided we got to say them. So they went to Jagai and Madai and said, Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha, chant the names of Krishna, worship Krishna, follow the instructions of Krishna. And they were drunk as usual. What are these guys? What are they trying to tell us to do? They started chasing them. And Haridas Thakur, as they're running away, said, how could Lord Chaitanya place me with this madman? We're almost going to get killed. As they're running away, joking. So then they went back to Lord Chaitanya and they gave a Sankirtan report. Said, Haridas Thakur said, we were in the town and there was these people, Jagai and Madai, very degraded. So Lord Nityananda wanted to preach to them. And they attacked us. And Lord Chaitanya said, because Lord Nityananda wanted them to receive the mercy, they certainly will receive the mercy. So Lord Chaitanya had faith in the purity of Lord Nityananda. So the next day they went there again to try to get Jagai and Madai to be devotees. And Madai, he was a little too drunk, and he hit Nityananda. Pop. And he started bleeding. And then word got to Lord Chaitanya that Lord Nityananda had been hit. So we went there, the spot, immediately. And what did he do? Chakra! And then immediately they both understood, well, this is serious. This person's serious here, So then what did Lord Nityananda do? Stop. No, Lord Chaitanya, please. Please. In this age, we don't kill the demons. Because if we did, we'd have to kill them. Or we kill the demoniac mentality. And besides that, Jagai, he stopped Madai when he was going to try to hit me again. As soon as Lord Chaitanya heard, he picked up Jagai. Imagine such mercy. And Lord Chaitanya's complexion turned Krishna, dark. And the devotees were amazed. Lord Chaitanya, your complexion is dark now. You don't have your golden forming. And Lord Chaitanya understood because of embracing him. So what do you do? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. And then just going forward. Because it is said, Iti Sudasakam Nam, Kali Kamasanatam, Nata Proto Bar, Sarva Vedeshu Dushyate. That if one wants to be free of all the contamination of the age of Kali and counteract all the sins of this age, there is no alternative than to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Of course, Lord Chaitanya can never be done. It's another wonderful pastime, Lord Chaitanya. So then, Jagai and Madai was told by Lord Chaitanya that you two have been very sinful. But actually what happened is Madai said, Lord Chaitanya, everything I did, he did. You know, give mercy to me too. Please, give mercy to me too. Oh, you offended my meat. You have to give the mercy. So immediately what you do, dandavats. Grab the feet of the Lord and say, please forgive me. Or that you know it's the most merciful. Yes. Don't sin in the Lord. Lord Chaitanya said that also. That you will receive mercy, but don't sin. And they both felt so bad because they offended so many people that they made a ghat. Lord Chaitanya told them, make a ghat and beg for forgiveness. All the people that gave them. People were amazed that they became Vaishnava. They were just totally amazed. That Jagai and Madai, the most sinful rascals in all of Navadvita. So Lord Chaitanya's glory sure enough increased. Appreciation of Lord Chaitanya increased. And they became branches on the tree. Lord Chaitanya, Jagai and Madai. But who were they? Please. Giants. So there were supposed to be three births as demons. But then they got news that a very merciful Lord Chaitanya is coming, so they made some deal with somebody. Can we stay one more? And they were demons, but then they became devotees. And then they went back. So this is actually it's interesting that Lord Chaitanya, in the Shikshashtaka, one of the most important verses is Trinadapi Sunichena. And once you think oneself Lord of the strong, the street, mortal, and a tree, devoid of all sense of false conceit, very dark, broad, especially other than that, to respect oneself, state of mind, the chant, holy name, Lord, constant. But here, Lord Chaitanya, he's not Trinadapi Sunichena. When he heard this, he was ready to kill him. So when someone is offended, when Krishna is offended or the devotee is offended, how to appease. That verse goes out the window. Like even when Prabhupada was here in the early days in 1966, Prabhupada told us all the young men that came, you can't bring marijuana, no drugs. So there's one boy, he came and he had some marijuana in his shirt. And the devotee said, hey, Prabhupada said we can't. Swamiji said we can't do that. So this person that had the marijuana, he hit this devotee. And Prabhupada heard. He said, I'll kick him in the head. Prabhupada became very, he said, this is nonsense. Don't let him come. Still, Prabhupada being very devotees. Pranada Pisanichana is there But if someone offends Krishna or offends Krishna's devotee, there is a great devotee, Murara Gupta, who, the great Vaishnava, he went when Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda were at the house of Srivas Pandits. He went and he paid obeisances to Lord Chaitanya and then to Lord Nityananda. And Lord Chaitanya says, you have reached etiquette. Lord Nityananda he's the older, he's senior, so you should actually respect him. And then to Lord Chaitanya, keeping the etiquette. So the next day, Maharaj came, and he paid obeisances to Lord Nityananda, and then to Lord Chaitanya. So this is proper etiquette. Lord Chaitanya, he instructed Lord Nityananda to go to Bangladesh and preach. The devotees would come every year to Jagannath Puri, but Lord Chaitanya said, don't come, stay and preach. Lord Nityananda, I mean, he's such a great preacher. So, and there's so many pious people in Bangladesh, so Lord Chaitanya wanted to deliver. And he preached so much, practically delivered the whole land of Bangladesh by his preaching. It is described that there is 4 places where Lord Chaitanya would go immediately. Wherever Lord Nityananda would dance, Lord Chaitanya would go there. He liked Lord Nityananda's dancing, so he would go wherever he would dance. When Sachimata would cook, Lord Chaitanya would go there, and he would eat what she had made, and she would always be amazed. Where is it? I cooked. Where is it? Also, at the house of Srivas Thakur, when there was kirtan, Lord Chaitanya would go. Also, when Raghava Pandit, another great cook, when he would cook, Lord Chaitanya would cook. The other interesting thing is that there was one pastime where devotees had kirtan and they were all sitting to take prasad, and Lord Chaitanya appeared there. But only Lord Nityananda could see it. So Lord Chaitanya was bringing prasad, and he was serving it to Lord Nityananda. So can you imagine, the prasadam is moving, but there's nobody, they can't see Lord Chaitanya. So they're just seeing the prasadam moving, and it's going into the mouth of Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda is seeing it. And then again, prasadam moving. Going into the mouth of Lord Nityananda. They can't see Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is seeing it. They're having a good time. There was one pastime where there was some thieves that saw Lord Nityananda. And sometimes Lord Nityananda, he would have a lot of jewelry around him. And these thieves thought, well, if we just rob this one person, we'll be set for life. So they decided to go there at night and steal all his jewelry. So they're outside the house and they see him, walking around, and they're there waiting for the right time. And they all fell asleep. Nidra yoga. They all fell asleep. And they were all, when they all woke up, said, "Oh, well, y'all fell asleep. Well, you fell asleep too. Well, anyway, we'll do it tonight." And then that night, they went there to rob him. And there was these big guards, these huge guards walking around. And they said, "Where did these guys come from?" You know, we can't do anything with these big, you know, humongous guards. Anyway, let's try it again tomorrow. And then the next night, there was a big storm. So much rain, just pouring down rain. And they were getting bitten by leeches and snakes around. And there's all these, and there was these thorn bushes around. And we're getting caught in this whole everything just became a complete mess. And then one of them thought, I heard he might be God. I think he's God. I think we should surrender to him. So they did. They decided that this isn't working out too good. Stealing from God is not working out too good. So they surrendered to the Lord Nityananda. Not good to steal from God. It's described that there was one devotee, Yadunath Kavichandra, who was such a great devotee of Lord Nityananda that Lord Nityananda would dance in his heart. I don't know what a great devotee that must have been. Lord Nityananda would dance in his heart. Oh. There's another great devotee, when Vasudev Dutt, or Vasudev Ghosh, saying of the glories of Lord Nityananda, wood and stone would melt. Wood and stone would melt upon hearing Vasudev Ghosh sing the glories of Lord Nityananda. He was famous as a great Kirtanian. Lord Chaitanya, he showed Lord Nityananda his four-armed form and then his form of Krishna. And one amazing famous pastime is of Sachi. Mother Sachi, she was there in Navadvip, and Lord Chaitanya was there, and she told Lord Chaitanya, "I had a dream last night that my deities, Krishna and Balaram, they turned into Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda." And Lord Chaitanya said, "Oh, it's very nice dream. So then the next day, Lord Chaitanya, he invited Lord Nityananda for lunch. And Sachi cooked up a nice feast, and then she brought it in. And she saw that Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda had become Krishna and Balaram. They were sitting at the table. She saw that. And she had everything, she dropped everything and fainted. She fainted. And then Lord Chaitanya manifested again, Lord Chaitanya. They went to pick him up and said, "Sachi, what happened? Bhakta, what happened? What happened? Why did you faint?" They said, "No, it's okay. It's okay." She understood. But she said in the dream, she saw that Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda had gone to Krishna and Balaram and said, "Hey, you two, this isn't your age. This is Lord Chaitanya's golden age. Your days are finished here. Come on, go on. This is our food. Your days are numbered. Come on, go on. Get off the altar. This is ours." Kids would fight sometimes. They're a little arguing. Lord Nityananda, he was a little tricky. There was one instance where Lord Chaitanya, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. So him, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they were going along, and Lord Nityananda told some cowherd boys that Lord Chaitanya, he's gonna ask you the directions to Vrindavan, and you give him directions towards the Ganges. And so when Lord Chaitanya came and asked, oh, do you know where the direction is for Vrindavan? He said, oh, the river is this way. Yamuna River. Yamuna River. So Lord Chaitanya went there. And Lord Chaitanya started offering prayers to the Jamuna River. And then there was a boat came, and Lord Nityananda told some devotees, go to Sachi and tell her to go to Advaita Acharya's. Because Lord Chaitanya is going with. So Lord Chaitanya, he's going along in his boat, and then he saw Advaita Acharya. He said, Advaita Acharya, why are you in Vrindavan? And then Advaita Acharya said, this is the Ganges. And then Lord Chaitanya said, oh, Lord Chaitanya, he tricked me. He tricked me. He told me this is what you mean. And he said, no, it's correct. The eastern side is the Ganges, and the western side, that's the Jamuna. So you're in the Jamuna. So then Lord Chaitanya, he went to the house of Advaita Acharya. And Lord Nityananda and Advaita Acharya were invited for prasad. And there was Lord Advaita Acharya said, please come. We have a little bit of rice. Some steamed vegetables, a little bit of rice, just a palm full of rice. Please come. Of course, when he got there, there was a huge arrangement for prasad. And Lord Chaitanya said, how can I eat all this? I can't eat all this. Come on. And Advaita Acharya said, come on, I know you're eating 54 times a day at Jagannath Puri. This is nothing for you. This is a morsel for you. 54 times you're eating every day. So Lord Chaitanya said, all right. So it was sad place. But Lord Nityananda, he said, excuse me. He said, I've come here to eat, but I feel like I'm still fasting. I haven't even broken my fast yet. So they were going to get into these mock. Need some water, a little bit of water. So you would have these little mock arguments. Advaita Acharya said, you're just some reject Paramahamsa. No one's know your caste, no one knows anything about you, and I'm going to lose my caste just by your being in my home. And Lord Nityananda said, you're just a Mayavadi. You're just a monist. So they would have these criticisms. There was one interesting pastime where, the Lord Nityananda, he stayed at the house of Srivas Thakur. And Malini was like his mother. And she would even breastfeed him. He was like a child from Malini. And he went into the kitchen one time and she was crying. Why are you crying? I'm getting the paraphernalia ready for Arti, and a bird has come in and taken the container of ghee and flew out. Now when my Prabhu sees there's no container of ghee, he's going to get very angry at me. So Lord Nityananda said, no. And then he looked out the window and said, bird, bring back the container of ghee. And within a short time, the bird came back with the ghee. not even spilt. So she said, why should I be surprised about this? You're creating universes. You're the controller of the universe. You're such a great personality. Why should I be surprised about this? So she understood the greatness of Lord Nityananda. At the Rath Yatra, there were singers and there was dancers. And Lord Nityananda, he was one of the dancers. I guess they didn't sing and dance because it takes a lot of energy to do both. So he was a dancer. And Advaitacharya, he went and he said to Lord Chaitanya, I could understand you're a cowherd boy if you can whirl around a stick. Cowherd boys, they can whirl around with sticks. So Lord Chaitanya took the stick and he whirled around and threw it up, and he would catch it, and then he would roll it around in his back, and then he would go around between his legs, and he would throw it up and catch it, and he'd throw it around to the side. And Lord Nityananda, he also was expert with the, so he was also, this is proof that you're a cowherd boy. That you could take the stick and you could whirl it around and throw it up and catch it, and whirl it around the back, whirl it around under your legs, and whirl it around the side, around you, and those are a few pastimes that I found in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anybody think of any other pastimes of Vijaya? Online that would like to show devotion?
When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned from South India tour, he had an assistant. He was Krishna Das. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu greeted all the devotees. After that, some of the devotees remained in the house, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu and other devotees were also there, few of those, that look at the behavior of my assistant, what he did. Basically, he went with the Bhattaharis, and he was like spoiled. Uh, so unethical behavior. But Nityananda Prabhu was so merciful that he engaged Father Krishna Das in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by requesting him to go to Mother Sachi and Advaita Acharya and from. And then that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has returned from South India too. So Nityananda Prabhu is so merciful, he doesn't look at your past or or present or whatever. He delivers everybody without any judgment.
Yes, very merciful.
Mm.
More merciful than Lord Chaitanya. Again, Lord Chaitanya was going to kill Jagannatha, but Lord Nityananda, stop. You have to kill the demoniac mentality. And by book distribution, we're also helping destroy demoniac mentality. Yeah, thank you for that.
Also, to Maharaj Pratap Rudra, devotees wanted, actually Ramananda Raya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet the king, who is such a great devotee. But Lord Chaitanya was not ready because the sannyasi is not supposed to meet a worldly man, and king is the most worldly person. So Nityananda Prabhu said, okay, you don't want to meet him, at least can we give a cloth of yours to Maharaj Pratap Rudra, and Maharaj Pratap Rudra would worship that cloth, that lordship, and He also arranged a meeting of Lord Chaitanya with the son of Maharaj Pratap. So he was preparing the ground so that Maharaj Pratap can feel some mercy from Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise, Maharaj Pratap would have renounced his kingdom and become Lord Nityananda feels for the people who want to get this.
Again, compassion of Lord Nityananda. And also the, I think it was a few devotees spoke to King Pratap that you give up your kingly dress. Lord Nityananda was also, and just and go to the garden and chant the fifth chant,
Gopi Geet.
Gopi Gita, 5 chapters. He was smart, he memorized. And Lord Chaitanya, he's there in the garden and he's getting a massage. And he is in ecstasy hearing the Gopi Gita. And Lord Chaitanya said, "Who are you? Who are you?" He couldn't say who he was. I'm the servant of your devotees. I'm the servant of your devotees. He got understood. Lord Nityananda. So, yeah, he's very merciful. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how Nityananda, his book distribution partner is Haridas Thakur. Because Haridas Thakur, by Hindu standards, is an outcast and untouchable, not even allowed inside the temple, but Nityananda chooses to go with him for books, which is the most important service. And then also in terms of Nidikatena Ramdas, who's a servant of Nityananda, I heard in this pastime that you had brought up so nicely that when the Pujari had ignored him, Nidikatena Ramdas was only slightly offended, ignored, annoyed by it. But then immediately I'm a servant of Lord Nityananda, I'm a servant of Lord Nityananda, so he was able to overcome such offenses from others. And that's the power of the devotees of Lord Nityananda, is that they don't get offended. Because they take on that characteristic.
Yeah. The Prabhupada gives the example of Ramaharsana Sutta, when Balaram went there as an assembly. He was the speaker, but he didn't offer respects to Balaram. So Balaram used a very powerful weapon. Kushagraj. Just touched him and he died. So he wasn't respected because it was understood that he was a devotee, Nityananda around us, he was a devotee of Lord Nityananda. And he was so ecstatic because of his being such a sincere servant. So everybody else would respect, but he didn't respect. It's Pujari and the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj. So he became, because he was disrespectful to Lord Nityananda, he broke his flute. And it's described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then immediately his brother fell down because of his not respect devotee of Lord Nityananda and Lord Nityananda. So yeah, we have to be very careful, very respectful to the Lord, very respectful to devotees. And therefore there's that verse, Janana Visiti, lower than the strong the street. See, if we think that we're low, then how could we offend him? It's when people think they're great that they offend people. We're lower than the straw on the street. I'm the lowest, so better than him. So how can I criticize him? More tolerant than a tree. Tolerance is so important. Dikshya Karunya Maitra Chikala Jandisha Samatvena Chisaradam Bhagavan Samprasiditi. That Krishna is very pleased when devotees approach others with tolerance, passion, with friendship, in a friendly mood, and equality, which is very pleased when we approach others. Therefore, we're on book distribution, so that's the key. Tolerance, compassion, in a friendly way, and seeing equally, seeing the soul, not the body. You got to see beyond the covering. There was one devotee that was, he was on Harinam with devotees. I think it was somewhere in New Orleans, maybe. And some guy started criticizing him. And this devotee looked at him and said, "Don't judge a book by the cover." And he was like, because he was judging the devotees by their appearance. Don't judge the book by the cover. It kind of shocked him. Yeah. Because that's what he was doing. And just on that, he later got some books and he became favorable. So on book distribution, we shouldn't judge by appearance. We never know. We never know who's going to take, who's it going to take. Sometimes we see someone, oh, this person's definitely going to take it, he doesn't take. And another person, oh, this guy's not going to take it, he does take. Is it? We never know. So we have to see beyond the cover. So, okay, anything else? There's no prasadam today, or at least this morning. 12 o'clock, after that.
Lord, yeah, the Lord is saying that very much happy.
Yeah. Lord Chaitanya, oh, well, sunset, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
One last thing. It mentioned that Jada and Lagai were the branches of the Chaitanya tree, and it reminded me of the verse in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that he's the banyan tree, and so it's just how expansive and how. Is there any correlation between that tree and the tree that Krishna has mentioned?
I've never heard, but yeah, that could be there. I mean, there's a lot of branches on the Chaitanya tree.
Yeah.
And actually, Prabhupada said that this movement is another branch. So it can continue on, the branch of the Chaitanya tree. It's not material. It's a spiritual tree. So yeah, Prabhupada said this is another branch of the Chaitanya tree, because it was spreading the glories of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. I mean, did any of you hear of Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda before coming to Krishna consciousness? Even in India, that he's not very known, isn't it? Yeah. Or to speak of the West, we never even heard of Krishna. So Prabhupada also is in the mood of Lord Nityananda. Very compassionate. Very funny. If we want to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, then we have to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. But if you want to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you got to approach the Jagais and Madhais. And there's no lack of those. We see them every day. This is how you get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Okay, Lord Nityananda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Vijaya Prabhu ki
Let's go.
Thank you, dear devotees, for joining. Have a nice Krishna consciousness.